Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at most likely actually the final video for this cup here, the Great League Remix Cup. We're going to have a team here that got up to a legend from Jesus AWC here with the Cofagrigus. They actually posted like 4 different teams. I just picked the team that I liked the most, and this was this one here. We're going to have the lead of the Empoleon, the Say Swap of Goodra. In the back we're going to have that Cofagrigus. You could actually also use Cofagrigus as your Say Swap for this team very likely, because yeah, it should also kind of work out quite well for it. But here we're going to decide to go for the Goodra as a Say Swap. Both of them, again, are going to be fine. I just like to have the combination of Empoleon plus Goodra, because Goodra has water type coverage, Empoleon is a water type Pokemon, and so they're kind of fitting quite well together. This team itself went really well for me as well. We're going to see here quite a lot of nice wins with this team, especially Empoleon is just one of my favorite Pokemon to run right now. Again, very likely going to get nerfed next season, so be a little bit careful if you have not built this Pokemon yet. But we're going to see here the Charizard now against us, which is going to try to go ahead and go for, I think it's just a Dragon Claw, so we can let the move go through, and we're going to be in a great position already in the first one here. But yeah, again, this is going to be a legend team from Jesus AWC here, which is going to be quite a good team as well. Udra is coming in here, and of course, Steel Wing is going to be enough to knock them out. Moving on to the next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead here. We're going to have the Magnezone, actually one of the worst possible leads that I could encounter, and we're getting hard-walled by a Granbull here. Granbull was actually a Pokemon that I kind of want to take a look at as well for this kind of meta, but I couldn't really find a good team with it. I could have went completely degen with like Carbink, Granbull, and like Victory Bell, which maybe I should have done, maybe... Honestly, maybe I should have actually done that, but yeah, I didn't do that. So no toxic team actually during the Great League Remix Cup as far as I know. I don't think I did a single toxic video for this one. But don't worry, there are going to be more toxic teams coming up eventually anywhere on the channel. I know everybody loves them. Here we're going to have to make a call basically that there's going to be the Mirror Shot, which works out quite well because I only have limited amount of shields. And I know that they're going to have a Pokemon in the back that I still have to deal with. And so we are going to be able to shield up now. The next move, it's going to be another Mirror Shot, as we can at least reach that Dark Pulse to force a shield on the knockout against the opponent. Is he gonna get the shield here? We have now a little bit of an energy advantage, and the opponent swaps into the Hypno, and we are going to be able to reach that Shadow Ball in time to get the knockout here. And also we are going to be able to go for the full farm against the Magnezone, as we still kept that one shield. So calling that Mirror Shot bait before was crucial to win this battle. Next opponent, we're going to have a Gligar in the lead. That's actually going to be quite an interesting matchup. You win the Zero Shield scenario by quite a lot because you can just go for the Hydro Cannon. The opponent knows it as well and goes into the Superior. But what we can do is we can kind of reset the entire matchup by just going up for, again, 6 fast moves and now swap out into our Goodra to catch that Grass type move. Frenzy Planter would have knocked us out in the lead, but here it barely does any damage, and so we can even go for the full farm down. And the lovely thing about this now is we should go up to a 1 Awkward Tail, which would also do super effective damage against the opponent's Gligar. So we're in a very good spot here, as we will be able to go for the full farm down. They're gonna go ahead, I think they went straight into the Gligar here as well. Let's take a look at this. They did exactly this, and so we can go for 1 more Awkward Tail. But maybe Goodra is even bulky enough to get to another one. Let's find out here together. This is going to be a great one for us. We can still reach another Awkward Tail, as this is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. We can go for another Hydro Cannon, get maybe another shield from the opponent, or shield advantage for the final Pokemon. We have 2 shields up now, which is kind of hilarious, but if you think about it, like Hydro Cannon and Drill Peck is just doing damage against anything in the meta right now. And so I'm just going to use all my shields onto my Empoleon, just trying to get rid of the energy. Let's see what they're going to have in the back. It is going to be... Apparently they forfeited, because usually it shouldn't take that long. It's going to be the Carbink, and yes, that is going to be quite an easy matchup for us. This is going to be a knockout for sure here after a little bit of first move damage afterwards as well. And so, yeah, good game there. Very easy for us to win later on, thanks to Empoleon. For sure, again, Empoleon was my favorite Pokemon. We're going to have the lead here against Shadow Sableye. I'm fairly certain if you just go straight for the full farm down, you can go for like 1 or 2 charges with your Wind CMP tie as well. You should be able to just farm them down, because I think Steel Wing does a little bit more damage than Shadow Claw. So yeah, as you can see here, the opponent's quite a little bit lower than us. We are going to be able to shield up the foul play. We can go straight for another charge move. I decided to go for the Drill Peck just in case I want to swap out into something like the Superior, which you saw in the game before. But we will see here as well that we are going to be able to let the move go through and keep that 1 shield for Cofagrigus. Well, the thing about Cofagrigus, which I don't actually think I even talked about right now, is basically, there are barely any Dark-type Pokemon. I think there's just like Gastrodon and Mandibuzz, and both of them are not too common. And there are basically no Normal-type Pokemon. You maybe see like the odd Greedent, but that's basically it, because Lickitung is banned, Vigoroth is banned. And so it is actually quite a safe Pokemon right now. Like a pure Ghost-type is super safe right now in the current meta. And honestly, like in hindsight, I really would have liked to take a look at the Dusclops as well, because we have a meta where Gligar is basically everywhere, and Dusclops has Ice Punch, and also Dusclops has the Poltergeist, so I feel like this would have been a great Pokemon for this meta. So honestly, now I should have a little bit more time, starting with the next week as well, for some more YouTube teams and stuff like this. So I will most likely take a look at some more interesting Pokemon that you maybe don't see all the time, just to see if they're going to work out in the Go Battle League. So hopefully you're going to enjoy this type of content then as well. But yeah, again, there are quite a lot of Pokemon that I kind of now see where I would have liked to make a video about, but it's now kind of end of this cup already, so that's kind of unfortunate. But let's move on to the next opponent. Let's see who we're going to have here. We're going to have a Dedenne. Dedenne kind of rose up a little bit in popularity. I also thought of making a video about it, but then ultimately decided against it. I know, like, it's still a good, cool Pokemon for sure. Like, it's definitely a very good Pokemon to use. But for me, it just missed, like, this kind of small bit of it. I feel like Poliwrath is just not really good enough in the current meta especially. And then you just have Discharge, which is also not a great move. And Thunder Shock, which is a great move, to be fair. But I feel like it's just always kind of missing like that little bit to be like top tier or like really, really usable. So I haven't really enjoyed using the Dedenne yet, but maybe that's going to be a meta where that's going to change for me. Anyway, we are going to be able to go for a Hydro Cannon against the opponent's Quagsire here, which is not going to enjoy this at all. We can try to go for the full Shadow Claw down here against them as well, as we are going to be able to take that Stone Edge. They can swap out into the Gligar, as they can try to go for the Shadow Ball straight away. Here's the thing, either I get the shield here, or I get a ton of damage. I will get the shield, and so Awkward Tail is going to go unshielded. I have to hope they can still get the next charge move off, but they actually decide to go for the knockout instead, which I'm totally happy about. Air Release is coming through, as we can try to swap out into our Goodra. Goodra will be able to just go ahead and go for that Awkward Tail, even on a CMP type, because the opponent was a little bit clumsy there. And so we are going to be able to win this game, and we can move on very soon to the next one. I think they also forfeited here at this point. If this is going to lag like this, they usually forfeit, and yes, it takes some time here. So they're kind of rage quitted. They closed the app here very likely, and so yeah, we're gonna move on to the next opponent. Let's see what they're going to have here. They're going to have a Dragalge. Dragalge is a Pokemon that is going to be quite a decent one for us to deal with, but I think I kind of misplayed this one. I was watching, an episode of the series next to it, so sorry if I didn't concentrate perfectly on some things, but I can at least talk about it. Here, I think it was 6 fast moves, which I don't think would have been an outrage. No, it could have actually been an outrage, maybe. Maybe, I actually don't think it would have been. So I think that was kind of silly. I think they needed 1 extra fast move to go for the outrage, so that was most likely a huge mistake by me already. We can try to go ahead and go for another Awkward Tail here. This is going to be able to hopefully get another shield from the opponent. Let's find out. It does, and so they're going to be shieldless, and we are actually in a very solid spot now. But what I didn't do is, I did not really pay attention too much to this scenario here. I gave them 1 free fast move because I was not looking at the screen, so sorry about this. But this extra fast move actually may be going to meta here. Let's find out. We're going to use the shield. It's going to be the Dig, which I was thinking like, oh, I can fully farm them down now. Okay, the extra fast move didn't really matter. I needed to catch the move anyway, so that's kind of annoying. But yeah, they're actually going to be able to go for another one here. And in hindsight, what I should have done, I should have just went into my Cofagrigus. I know already that my my Empoleon would have been great against the opponent, and so there was no real reason for me to play it that risky. So that was definitely a mistake by me. Could have just swapped out already quite a little bit earlier into my Cofagrigus, but it is what it is. Like, this is the thing as well, Cofagrigus is so safe as a Pokemon to use that I would really recommend you to just try it out even as like a safe swap. Like, it is very safe to swap this Pokemon into things. Here I just went straight for the charge move, hoping that I would catch something that I really needed to catch, but it was just the Gligar. At the end of the day, there was nothing that I could have won after my mistakes before. Still a good game to the opponent, of course. Here, you're going to see a great lead for us, a swap out into a fighting type, and the opponent going to forfeit. Bye-bye. Next opponent, we're going to have the Obstagoon in the lead. We can swap out straight away here. And this is kind of an awkward thing, because Obstagoon is like the one core breaker that is basically impossible to beat for this team. Or is it? Here's the thing about Obstagoon. Obstagoon is great when you have shields up. Obstagoon is not so great if there are shields down. And so, as the opponent decides to swap out into a Gligar now, I was really hoping that following thing is going to happen now. I can get another Awkward Tail off, I get the final shield from the opponent, and they can try to even waste some energy on me and try to knock me out with that, and then I can go for the full farm down with my Empoleon. That was my game plan. My game plan is not going to work out. Why? Because the opponent messes up quite a bit here and we can actually still go for another Awkward Tail that is going to be able to knock them out here for sure. And as you're going to see, in comes the Obstagoon. We are going to be able to go back into our Empoleon and we try to go for that Hydro Cannon against the opponent, which will be enough to knock them out from this range, guaranteed. Cross Chop coming through, and the opponent swaps it a little bit too early into their Toxic packs, getting a little bit too excited there to swap. That did not help them out at all, as we're now going to be able to hard counter them after their hard counter us, which is ridiculous, as we're going to be able to now take a hit from the opponent. I think still Satrap is the hardest hitting move that they can go for, and they try to do exactly this, as it barely does any damage here. We are going to be able to overfarm by quite a bit as well. There's going to be a Brine now coming through. We can still easily take it, and we can try to go up to 2 Dark Pulses. What this does for us is we can align ourselves without only, basically with only giving the opponent 1 free fast move, so they cannot even store up a cross chop against our Empoleon. This is going to be great for us because now we can go for a combo play, 1 Dark Pulse, or 1 swap, or 1 Hydro Cannon, and a good game to the opponent as we can move on to the second to last battle of today. Let's see what they're going to have here. We're going to have a horrible lead against us with the Poliwrath. We sub out straight away into the Goodra. They're going to get out the Steelix, getting completely hardballed from the opponent here. Not ideal at all, but let's see if we can still do something with that. We're going to be able to go for 1 Awkward Tail, getting them a little bit lower, but we have to let the next move go through. It is going to be the opponent's Psychic Fangs. That is going to hit me here quite hard. Defense is going to drop as we can swap back into the Empoleon. We're going to try to overfarm by quite a bit. I'm going to let the move go through here. This is going to be a risky play because it could be an Earthquake, but it's just going to be the Psychic Fangs from the opponent, as we are going to be able to go for another Drill Peck here against them. This is going to hopefully do a lot of damage. It's going to be enough to knock them out, of course, but yeah, maybe could have also got a shield, would be kind of cool. The opponent makes actually a little bit of a misplay here, in my opinion. Like, if I was the opponent, I would just went for the Icy Wind. Like, this is like the overpowered thing about Poliwrath. If you win the lead and you can align yourself later on, you can just make the matchups even easier for the backline if you go for Icy Wind. But like this, sadly, we're gonna be in a spot where we have no chance of winning the battle. Carbink is just, like, stat-wise so busted. Like, literally, it's just unfair how strong Carbink is stat-wise. Luckily for us currently, the meta is quite good against Carbink, not like the Remix Cup meta, but the Open Great League meta. So you don't really see the Carbink invasion too much right now. I could see this change for the next season. I could see that Carbink is going to have a lot more impact next season, mainly because I see at least like that we're gonna get a Steel Wing nerf. I see that we're gonna mostly get like somewhat of a nerf to like a Water type Pokemon, because Water type Pokemon are everywhere. So it's going to be kind of something where Carbink might even shine a little bit more. Next opponent is going to have a Pokemon here that I don't really like to play against too much with this team, which is going to be the Registeel. It is playable though. What we're going to try to do here is to catch a Zap Cannon, because that would be kind of hilarious, and it is going to be hilarious as they're going to sadly get the attack drop onto us. The attack drop actually going to matter quite a bit, and I make a huge mistake by not going straight for the Awkward Tail. Like, this was very, very silly from me, because basically what this means is that the opponent can swap into the Goodra and all the energy goes to waste. If I went against the Registeel, I would have also unaligned the Switch Clock. So what this would mean is that I would have kept the Goodra into a spot that they don't really want to be in. And so, yeah, it is what it is. We're going to be able to let the move go through here. Awkward Tail is coming through. We are going to try to swap out now and catch a move which did not work out. So we decided to use a shield on a Thunder Punch. And we're in a very tough spot now. But we at least have a lot of energy on our Pokemon. In comes the Registeel again. I can go for a Hydro Cannon that is gonna be able to get the shield. They're gonna most likely try to go for their own charge move again. I can use a shield here as well, because at the end of the day, the only thing that they're gonna really be able to do is, yeah, maybe try to knock me out here, but I'm still always going to be able to get the shield back with my Empoleon. And now it's down to Goodra to beat 2 Pokemon, which, spoiler alert, is not going to happen. That's not going to work out at all. Like, how are we going to be able to beat both the Charizard here, which had a little bit of extra energy, or actually not even the Goodra. I actually have the Cofagrigus here, and I think I make a mistake. I should have went for the Dark Pulse a little bit earlier, and I think I would have been able to knock them out, and maybe I actually would have been able to also knock out the Registeel, and so this last battle was actually down to a mistake by me again. So this team itself, very good team, I would really recommend you to try it out. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Last one for the Great League Remix Cup. Later we're going to have top teams for the Open Great League, so definitely stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.